What is up, YouTube? So today I want to talk a little bit about, well, first of all, today it is a good day because Samsung is going to unveil their next Note phone, which I've heard is coming in two sizes. The 6.3 inch, this is just rumors, but 6.3 inch display and one with 6.8 inch display. And I kind of asked a poll on my YouTube if I should get the next Galaxy Note. So for people that don't know, I was one of the first, actually late 2011, to buy the first Galaxy Note. And the thing then was, that was a time when iPhones that was 4-inch screen size, that was considered huge. It was considered, whoa, this is massive. Because there was already a lot of people that had used iPhones with 3.5-inch display. And then Apple released some 4-inch display, right? I think it was 2011 or 2010? I don't know exactly, but sometime around there. When I bought the original Galaxy Note, late 2011, and it had a 5.3-inch display, people said, "Oh my God, this is too big." Like it was considered awkward to just have 5-inch display, which very few Android devices had. They more had 4.3-inch display size, so barely that. So 5.3-inch, that was huge. It was too big in many ways for a lot of people. And the thing was, this was a time when you did not have this bezel-less design, where you had like ultra thin design on the edges and stuff like that. So that wasn't really there then. So for example, a 5.3-inch device today, it's going to be much slimmer the way you hold it. But the original Galaxy Note, it was very, very wide phone. So okay, so Galaxy Note 10, we have come a long way, I guess. Is this the 10th generation or something like that? I think so. Maybe 11th phone or something like that. Okay, so they're gonna unveil this today, right? And I might do an update then after about the real official specs. But right now it's rumored. Okay, 6.3-inch display one, and 6.8-inch on the biggest one. And I think, whoa, 6.8-inch, that's huge. Okay, so back in the day, a phablet, I always hated that term. But a 5-inch display, it was like, oh, this is a phablet. This is not even a phone. And they even called that, I think, with 4.8-inch phones, this is a phablet. It's not a phone. But now it's 6.8-inch. That is massive. I wonder if that's too big. Is it too big? Is it too big for a phone? It might be too big. I can't say, because you do have this bezel-less design, so you can implant a bigger display, but still 6.8-inch. Okay, so but I looked at the design. It looks pretty sweet, to be honest. Like the leaks, it shows an epic design. So first we have this thing with the triple cameras. I never even tested that. The last phone that I have at the moment, I never bought the Galaxy S9 because I didn't see a point with it. I didn't buy the Galaxy S10. I may buy the Galaxy S10, to be honest, but the reason for that, why I stayed on the Galaxy S8, is because, I mean, I started to realize 2015, wait a sec, phones have sort of peaked. Like, there was not really any massive thing. There was not a massive incentive to buy a phone. 2016, 2017, 2018, yeah, buy the Galaxy S8. updates a little bit. But the Galaxy S9, it was like, really? My Galaxy S8 is fine. Yeah. And the Galaxy S10 is like, really, like, there's not really anything going on here. But the Galaxy Note 10. I used to have the Galaxy Note phones as my main phone, but Samsung kind of failed the last couple of years. First, you had this. Was it with the Note 5 fiasco or no? It was, I think, the Note 6 or something like that. They kind of had this battery problem, but the Note 5 was, I think, the first phone with. Maybe it was the Note 4. I think it was the Note 5. It had this weird design, or I don't know. It was something wrong with it. I think it had this weird glass back or something like that. Yeah, it was just a weird thing. It was a time period there where it felt like the identity of the Note phone, Samsung didn't know how they should like label it or categorize it. But it seems now that they're sort of starting to figure out a better system of like what it is, what kind of role it is. And Samsung also had a couple of years where they didn't sell the Note phones in Europe, which was very weird. But it seems the Note phones now are sort of coming back in some ways. So yeah, I never tried a triple camera. It should have some Android 9, which could be interesting. That's why it would be kind of cool to test it out. I think the interesting part about the Galaxy Note 10 now, I think that we're approaching a phase where phones are going to be so good that you can live your whole life from a phone. That might sound weird, but what I mean is you'll be able to do videos on the phone, upload them to YouTube, make some value, flip that around, and just because the phones are lasting longer, you get to this point where, yeah, I know that the prices of phones is sort of going up a little bit right now, but eventually it's going to come to that point where the phone is doing more value, so you can replace it faster, so you can always upgrade to the latest and best tech. You always get the best hardware and software now with Android 9. The hardware inside, better GPU, better camera, better processor, faster. It kind of, I do wonder, is this the first device where you actually can live from it, right? So we know already 2016 we got phones with virtual reality. You could have the Gear VR headset, but the software was still not super good. There's still a lot of improvements that needs to be done to software, right? So I think that custom operating systems in the future is going to be pretty cool, and see that be played out. But yeah, the reason why I say that this might be the first actual phone where you can actually use it as a living almost. I mean, triple camera. I mean, you can probably do amazing videos with that, right? Faster rendering. You can probably render videos on it, and then upload it. We only need some amazing AI, and it's interesting now because this phone's probably going to last maybe 2 years at least, and then you consider, okay, so in 2 years it's going to be even crazier, like Galaxy Note 12, Galaxy Note 13. It really gets to that point where it's like peak tech, which is of course amazing. It's of course amazing because of course these phone brands, they want you to keep buying their phones, so they always have to improve the hardware, improve the software, to gain more people that buys this stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see what they come up with, because in some ways, yeah, we can play more games, right? You can play more games, GPU power and stuff like that. But I'm not really sure if people actually. I think in many ways it can be a fad. This idea that people want to play big games on their phone. I think that in many ways it might just stick to simplistic games Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can get better graphics and stuff like that, but I think that people more care about like trying to make very cool community apps, even though that might sound weird, but the next few years are going to be so much focus on education and software, I think, and AI. And that's going to be very cool. That's going to be very, very, very cool, because I think that the profit margins are going to change. You know, when people are not having to upgrade their phones all the time, they're probably going to look at more other stuff, right? And the role of the phone kind of changing. It's not this exciting yearly thing anymore. Now it's really shifting to maybe every 3 to 5 years get something cool, right? It's really not a yearly thing. And in some ways you can't see it. I mean, if you look at 2012, we got the Galaxy S3, and we look at right now. Yeah, it is a bit better, especially in the camera department. Stuff that hasn't really improved that much is really the software. Many apps that people used in 2012, they're still using, and so the content creation with software, what is going to be big with these big Note phones, and I mean, one big problem right now is that people cannot afford the best smartphones, but eventually they will be. And just because all these phones, iPhone 10 Max, what do we have? Huawei Mate 30 Pro and stuff like that, just because they focus so much on the camera, to have a good front-facing camera, and to have a good rear camera also. We know that video is going to be huge. 2022, 2025, like it's going to be massive. Like super high tech, high quality, anything you want. A person will be able to have their own sort of robot that people will be able to like buy multiple phones, multiple high-end phones, set them up in different like corners if you want to record something, and then you can probably set it up with some AI machine that follows you around, and you can create this sort of very high-tech professional studio feel, which is something that people already do right now, that many people already right now, like they're buying just multiple phones just so they can record different angles and things like that. That is something that we probably going to see more go down to, that the mainstream have that, when the mainstream have that infrastructure access to very, very cheap cameras, and they can upload to YouTube or some video platform basically for free. That's really gonna make video take off, and probably gonna make that most of the internet is mainly just gonna be video, right? But that's going to be in 2022, 2025. I have to see. It's going to be exciting to see if I do get this Galaxy Note 10, to see if they've done some amazing cool stuff compared to the Galaxy S8. I mean, in many ways, I don't think the software really has changed that much. I don't really think the software has changed that much, because I mean, I'm using the OnePlus 3, I use the Galaxy S8, and maybe some other device, maybe the Galaxy S7 sometimes. And the experience, the user experience on most of them is very, very identical. And the only way you can like keep innovate is, yeah, you can do a little bit better cameras, you can do better battery life. But the big thing is going to come down to amazing software and amazing content, amazing apps. So that's going to be a major, major thing we're going to see, I think, in the upcoming years. So that's going to be really, really cool. So yeah, I think I'm going to get this device. Yeah, because it looks really cool. And I saw a funny article. Someone was saying like, no, don't buy the Note 10. The Galaxy S11 is gonna come in a couple of months. And it's funny how people do that. Like, wait a sec, don't buy this new thing. We're gonna have some epic thing in 6 months. Well, it's probably gonna be harder to impress people with some amazing cool thing. So it's gonna be interesting to see where the value flow goes. Because you see both Instagram, YouTube, and all these places, they clearly are moving towards more personal style stuff, I think. Because, for example, now with YouTube, you can see that people can have stories. Just as with Instagram and just as with Snapchat, they're all moving towards the same user experience. They're all copying each other, which is kind of interesting also. But yeah, that's what I want to talk a little bit about today. The Galaxy Note 10 day. It is the Galaxy Note 10 day. They're gonna unveil it today on some event. I don't know exactly the time, but let's see. Let's see what they do. And I think it's gonna come out later in August, maybe August 23rd or something like that. Yeah, so that's gonna be interesting. I really hope it has some cool thing. I don't know exactly what, but yeah. Yeah, that's what I want to talk a little bit about today. Have an awesome day, YouTube. Bye bye.